Okay. So hi everybody. Welcome to hi Alyssa. So today we are going to do we're using a sample to take a look at the Webmin migration, which is a migration that takes legacy applications from all the way from BB6 to web application, which is mostly an ASP.NET Core backend
Yeah,
with
I'm so
Alyssa will
excited
be
about this.
thrilled.
I just want to say before we dive into the code, I just got to know Mauricio this week, and you work for Mobilize, correct?
That's correct.
And he's a genius, certified. He has a certificate and everything. So if you ever stuck, it doesn't matter what kind of code. It could be, .NET. It could be, I don't know, Java. I'm sure you know even C. I don't know, man. Like, he's so smart and so intelligent, and it's just been so much fun this week getting to like work with him and talk code with him. So I'm super pumped. It's a really short stream today, but it should be a lot of fun. And Mauricio, this app that you're talking about, it's on the GitHub, so people can go and check it out. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. You can jump to our GitHub repository, which will be github.com/mobilize.net. And then we have a repository here, which is like a hub repository for the SPS sample because it has like all the versions that you can imagine. Obviously, the star is the SKS for BB6, where you can go and get like the original version and the Visual Basic language for all the Visual Basic fans. And and for this version, you can use our tools, like for example, using the VBUC will take you all the way to a WinForms version of this application. But if you are more interested, then you can use our Webpack version and then go all the way to Webpack, which is what we're going to use today and be showcasing.
Someone in the
There are
chat
also
saying
the
that VBUC rocks. Okay, I honestly, can we like real quick clarify? Because I've been like talking with you all week about this VB6 app that was converted to WinForms, that was converted to Angular. But a lot of these words don't mean anything to me because I'm just a front end Angular developer. I've never even heard, like, I've heard of .NET, but I've never heard of, like, before I talked to you this week, I didn't even know VB6 was a thing. So, like, can you explain what that is real quick?
You're
Oh,
making me feel old. Um,
So
yes.
is
Well,
VB6 the same thing
okay.
as VBUC? What is even that? What is this?
No, no. Well, BB6 was a great platform that was created. I won't say the date. I don't want to give people any hints about my age, but it was created a few years ago. And so the nice thing about it was actually very visual, and so you can just like drag and drop components and just put them on the designer. I think he was so it was one of the pioneers in this space, along with Delphi probably, and so I think it really brings broad programming to the masses. Like anybody without a lot of experience could just start using the IDE and create a couple of forms, put a couple of buttons, and the basic language was also its name says, it's basic, it's very easy to use, and it really brought a lot of people into programming. A lot of hobbyist programmers were able to create incredible applications that eventually became like great hits, and so it became extremely popular.
So is it
Um,
still popular today? Do lots of people program with it, or is it more of something? Because you've been talking about converting and updating them to native desktop apps or native mobile apps. Like, what's the use case right now, or what's the industry like?
oh well, sadly, Microsoft decided to just change route. Like they decided to create .NET, which is a great platform, but well, sadly, Visual Basic was not aligned to that. So they created the Visual Basic .NET, which we also support, but because it was not like a mainstream product, its community just shrank, and so like everybody moved to the new technologies, which is natural, and so it was not longer like the dominant platform for creating desktop applications
Okay.
for
So
print.
that's why it's such a big deal to be able to convert or move these over to something that's more, I guess, commonly used today.
Yes, that's correct. And you still will find lots of resources about BB6. Is still there are a lot of systems out there, and they are still running. But because it's not longer supported, you will find problems like it is not running on newer versions of Windows, or it's not so easy for it to connect to newer components, or to use new technologies, because it's no longer a platform.
Okay.
And we at that time we partnered with Microsoft, and so we worked with them, and we created the Upgrade Wizard, which was a tool that was deployed along with Visual Studio. And after a while, we decided to even expand what the Upgrade Wizard was able to create, and that's why we have the Upgrade Companion, and which is we just call the BBUC, because we're using it every day, so it's a more and the words sound so similar, like BB6, BBUC, and for you probably they don't mean anything. But well, then that's why the Upgrade Companion came along, and the Upgrade Wizard was only able to allow you to migrate to from BB6 to BB.NET, and but the Upgrade Companion can also take you to C Sharp, which is a new language that came along with Visual Studio, which is very similar to Java and to TypeScript and to all those other languages. And but there are several language differences between those two platforms, and the VBOC is able to handle a lot of them. And but after that, well, the BBC then it makes a lot of work into taking you to a desktop platform. Right? By desktop, I mean something that runs in Windows. But obviously, like people like you and a lot of people is now interested in working with newer platforms like Angular, and well, we decided to add another companion to our companion, which is the Webmin product, and and the Webmin product is able to take whatever the BBUC converts and modernize it even further to an ASP.NET Core application, which is now multi-platform, so you can run it either on Windows and on Mac, and have an Angular backend, Angular front.
So it's fair to say that there's like two main steps when you're starting with this VB6 app and you need to get it all the way up to Angular. Is it just two steps, like with the converter and then with the Mobilize product, or like can you outline that for people?
Yes, we usually call that a double jump. Like you're right, you're correct. It's two steps. Like we first perform a migration with the companion, Upgrade Companion, and then we use another tool that we call the Webmin Migration tool, which is just takes the output of the companion and transforms it, modernizes it into a backend and front end architecture.
So can we see, so this SKS app, you were telling us a little bit about it, and I totally interrupted, and I'm sorry, whenever we first opened the stream.
No,
So tell us a little bit more about the SKS app that we're working in today.
Okay, sure. Let me bring you a little to the past. Like this is the PV6 environment. In its time, it was like a breakthrough. Like for people to like remember, there was a time where you had to create everything, and you had like your resource files to create your dialogues and everything. So there was no visual way to create everything. Now it's with HTML and all technologies, it's super easy to do that. But at the time it wasn't, and so it was, and it's still very nice that you can create different screens in your PADI this application is like a reference application. Like there's this fictitious company that is Salmon King Seafood, and this was an idea from our Seattle friends like John and Didi, and so probably John, that he's a salmon lover, and so this company specializes in gourmet seafood, and the idea was at the time that this was a company that created this. So, well, maybe the original people that created the company sat down with Visual Basic and create a small application so they can keep track of their customers and the products and create orders easily and just be able to keep their business running. And
we're being told by Ivana that we need to hydrate and posture check because 100 chickens were just spent at our expense, apparently. So I'm hydrating.
wow.
Actually, I'm anti-hydrating right now. This is black iced coffee. So, and hey, see, you're doing the coffee too, and I'm posture checking. I'm checking. All right, keep going, man. Sorry.
I need my coffee. I cannot keep going without my coffee. And well, Ivan, keep it going. I don't know if you're drinking coffee right now because of the chicken comment, but I think it's something good.
We have this in the chat. We have this like coated chicken, and it's got like a ninja ribbon, and it's like kind of doing a karate kick. I don't know. I'm describing this little chicken emoji. But that's why we're getting a bunch. I know. I love the chicken too, Sarah.
Oh.
So, but so this was Visual Basic, like what I'm seeing right now, this IDE, I'm assuming was only available on Windows? Question?
It was only available on Windows, and only and actually it is still. You can run it in Windows 10, but it's kind of a pain to do it. Like it's hard because it's a legacy platform, so it runs well in XP or Windows 7. It can be run on Windows 8 and Windows 10, but it's you have to go through some tricks in order to be able to run it on other platforms. And that's one of the main reasons why people want to modernize outside of PV6. It's not that it's a bad platform. It's just that it's no longer like a supported platform, and you will eventually get in trouble when you're running into UI systems. So that's why they want to come to us. And another thing that is like this platform was very COM based. So one of the things that we will see, especially when we modernize with the VBUC, is that we're able, like COM was, and it's still like a great technology, but it's very .NET specific, and the VBUC will take care of changing these COM references to native references, and for you, which will also be great when you are trying to have this application in other platforms, because now everything will be .NET.
So Sam is telling me that he just heard COM mentioned, and he said, "I dare you, Alyssa, to ask about it." Honestly, you're just speaking way over my head. I've never even. What's COM?
It's a component object model. I think it was what it meant, and it was a way to and it's it's a great platform to create intercomponent communications. So you define, it is based on creating interfaces. You create a defining interface, and it's supported through many languages, and so any technology that can consume those interfaces can communicate with those components. And so the good thing with that is, at the time there was only like C and Visual Basic, but and probably you did everything that was complicated and hard and that need, I don't know, to invoke Tor or do something weird. you had to do it in C. But then how can you easily use that in other easier platforms like Visual Basic? So you just define an interface, and Visual Basic was very in other platforms were just able to just use that component through that interface. And eventually, you can also in Visual Basic create components that expose on other interfaces. So it's a platform that allows you to, I don't know, share code. But
I
it's
feel like I've
again,
missed out on like a
it was.
whole other world. Like I'm so amazed. And everyone in the chat seems to know what you're talking about. So I'm the only noob here. Don't worry. You're not alone, Mauricio.
It was a few years ago. I don't know, recently. But it's just that you don't remember. It was not that recently.
I'm like, if it wasn't in like the JavaScript community, I probably don't know about it, which is really sad because there's so many, like, honestly, like using .NET with you this week is my first experience with it, and it wasn't that bad. And I'm like, hey, I don't know why all my JavaScript buddies are knocking on it. And my husband groans silently to himself. He's like, no, you're going over to the dark side. So so yeah, it seems like everyone in the chat knows about Calm, but thank you for explaining that. I'm very out of it. So what I'm looking at right now, specifically this IDE, what is it called?
Well, this is the BB6 IDE. So you usually have like this, like two different views. Like you either have like designer view, and then you can jump to this other code view, which is now good that you mentioned it, because like for an Angular developer, it's natural that you only see code. Like you either see HTML code or style code or TypeScript code. And for our BB6 programmers, it's usually weird because they expect to have like some kind of visual environment where they drag and drop components, but it's just not that natural for web development. And so that's why one of the reasons why we try to encapsulate a lot of the things, and you will see that when we show a little of the Angular code, because they come from a world where everything is mostly encapsulated, and they don't want to deal with a lot of stuff. And once you're decided that you want to leave this old west and need to move to something newer, you can then launch our BBC. I don't have the latest version here, but we are about to launch our 8.8.
Just know this is the first time I'm seeing this, so I wouldn't know if you had the latest version at all.
Oh, you should know it. This is a super popular product.
So this is VBUC, yeah?
Yes. This is the VBUC Upgrade Companion. And so the way it works is pretty easy. So you usually just create like an upgrade solution. We'll just call it SKS, which is exactly what we had there. And you point it to your source, which is
have you always been a Windows user? Tell us the truth.
No. I'm well, I started as a Windows user, and then I converted.
Okay.
But the real reason I converted is because Macs are so tough that are the only laptops that I don't have to change every year. Like I'm a terrible.
Like physically, like you can beat up on it, or
yes, my old laptop, I fell on the street, and it has like some bumps from, and it's still working.
Oh my gosh!
It's somewhere.
I have
I think my dog
never
uses
in my life heard someone pick a piece of hardware because of its physical durability. That's like, thank you. That's beautiful. I love it. I mean, I do drop my laptop, like legit, it happens. But I guess I've never had like a PC laptop to be dropping around to compare it to. So that's funny.
and well, I wonder up the newer MacBook Pro, like they are like a little thinner, and they are made of also aluminum and steel and something like that. But the old MacBook Pros, they were like tough, really tough. Like again, I think I can drop it in the floor, and my dog can open it and put his paws on it, and can still
I
use it.
love
Like
that.
it's sufferable.
Okay, so I
Okay.
saw an error. Did you fix it? It said something about bad directory, something.
Sorry. When you create the solution, it will ask you to, you mostly just have like an input directory and output directory. So it will, when you specify the input directory, it will just analyze everything you have there. So if you have any other Visual Basic applications, it will analyze all of them. And it requires an output directory to just leave the converted code. And after that, I think that one of the other things that some people struggle to handle is, again, is due to COM. Like all these things that you see here are what we call COM references. So these are all components that are used by the application.
Now, when you say
And they were
component, and when I hear component, I think of either an Angular component or like a web component. Is this not what that means?
it's something similar like that. Most of them are visual, but some of them can be what you will call Angular services.
Oh, okay.
Like if, for example, and the visual ones are like a comparison to the Angular components, but the non-visual ones will be like Angular services that you can just use to, I don't know, connect to any other backend or perform functionality.
Okay, so see how we're seeing like resolved, and then there's like one that's like not resolved. Is that an issue? Do we care?
Yes, that's an issue. That's one of the main things that make it difficult for our customers when they're migrating. So that's why I'll leave it there in this machine. Is that because these things are kind of old, and
So we were just
um,
told to hydrate and also hide an egg in our code, which I think could potentially mean, I don't know, like an Easter egg in our code. So whenever you actually get to writing the codes,
okay,
you have to hide an Easter egg. I don't even know how you're going to achieve that. It could be, I would be satisfied with a comment that says Easter egg, but let us know in the
okay,
chat if you have a better idea.
I will think of something. I
Yes,
will
do
try.
it. Okay, sorry. So back to this. Yes, we are resolving
Oh,
components.
you are resolving the COM references, and it might happen that because of changes in platform. This comes from the Windows 98, Windows XP time. I think those were times that you are not no longer remember a lot, and it might happen that some of those references are not available on your platform, and which is the case here because I'm running in Windows 10. And in this case, I have usually have a repository of all these references, and let me just, I think that reference that we're looking is this one, ComCPL2. I think I have already downloaded. And if I come back to here, then I can do something like set reference manually, and then I can browse. It should be in my downloads, and I think
So it's basically just
here.
saying I don't have a reference to this, and so you have to give it one.
Yes,
Okay.
and the reason the tool needs it because it requires to know. Remember that I mentioned that COM is just like a bunch of interfaces, and those interfaces just have methods with arguments and return values, and we need that because Visual Basic was like it's a lot like JavaScript. In JavaScript, like remember the difference between JavaScript and TypeScript. And JavaScript, everything is it's you can just do object dot anything, and it will just fail when you are running, not when you're writing the code. Like it will be actual valid code. And Visual Basic was a lot like that. C# is not. It's a strongly typed language as well as TypeScript. And one of the strengths of our tool is that it will analyze all the code and make sure that it introduces this strong typing. And for that, it needs information, which is mostly these references. Okay.
So the chat is making fun of me. They're saying that, well, first of all, Dee Dee said that software has gotten so much more boring since the 90s. And JD Brown is saying it's great. It's like someone who's only owned a Tesla learn about, I don't even know what that word is. Carburetors? But no, this is I'm actually really I'm amazed at your knowledge because is there a piece of like programming, new or old, that you don't know about? Like you pretty much like skilled in
No,
all of it.
no, no. Obviously, like I don't know, like we 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 used to say that in Spanish we used to say that when you don't know something, it's like when you have your tongue in the bat, and we call it like and, uh, and it's just like what I do. Like it's not like I'm an expert in all languages. It's just like that. I do try until I can keep a ball. So I have been around a little longer than you. That's
No,
and that's the only reason.
so I'm honestly really amazed that something like that is really like, was only working for Windows, and your team has found a way to like get it like not only working everywhere, but like for the web, but it's like in Angular. I don't know. This is amazing to me that this process exists.
Oh well, no, it's well, our guys have been working hard on this, and we're constantly improving it. And you guys from Telerik and Curious make it even easier. Like one of the things that make it easy to do is that your components really a real desktop experience. Like you have the dialog component and all your text box and buttons, and they allow you to have something that's very close to what the experience that you have on your desktop. Obviously, not with the designer, which is a concept that is for some people it's hard to let go because they really like that. But well, it's the web move on, and they decided that that's not going to happen. And well, that's another thing. Now you all visualize everything in SAS, so you see a button, and then you're thinking in styles and all those things. So like you see the matrix in there, but.
So now, are all of these resolved in the scrolling list? I didn't see if you fixed. Was there only one?
Yes.
Okay.
They're all fixed. After resolving these things, you usually just can just go to these upgrade options because we have a lot of upgrade options, and this sometimes confuses a lot of people. Like for example, you can decide which options you want to change your database connection, and if you have several database mechanisms to access, then we have several options, and it will identify you were using like the MS data grid that was a component more into your Angular component metaphor, and then you can either keep it as an ActiveX, or you can migrate that to other third parties, or you can just migrate that to a native component wrapper. And sometimes we even have some helpers for that to make it easier. And right now, I think that for this application, usually the tool performs an analysis and is able to identify which are the best options for you. But when you're doing like for a small application, that's fine. For a more complex application migration, you probably should review these options. And when you're done, you just press the confirm options, and then you just go to upgrade, which I will just leave in the background because this is an automatic migration process. It is very complex. It will just like the migration tool will perform a full analysis of your code, and it will start triggering rules and transformations, and it will take a couple of minutes. So I will leave it in the background just to entertain us, and then we can jump to the migrated application which we have already published here, and I think it's something that we can use. And I think I will I will fork this into my user. This is my user. It was mentioning that is caballero, which is knight in Spanish, reading backwards. And so it's I'm forking it. So I will clone this locally and show how it compiles and everything, and then probably just push these changes so you can take it over.
Cool,
Do you think that's fine?
Yeah, sounds good. Oh, can you also make a window for me, or a new view that we can plop adopt the Kendo Ui grid in?
I think I can do it this time. Let me see. Okay. I missed it. Sometime I have a mess with my keyboard. So let me see. This is like coding folder, and I will just clone everything here. LC and okay. So let me just open my Visual Studio Code environment here. So what we will have here is that now the application has both a C# backend and an Angular frontend.
Okay.
Because Angular takes a little more to compile. Let's start with it because so let me move to the Angular folder. Let me see this. And I'm in this right now. And not now, not now, okay. And okay, so I think the Angular code is here, and I will do an npm install because I know you like npm. I'm a Yarn guy, but I will do the npm install.
Oh, thank you. I don't have Yarn on me laptop. I'd have to install it. So you're sticking with the Yarn? So you're tried and true Yarn all the way?
Yes, Yarn has grown big in my heart. So I don't know, like I feel like it works better. But it could be just perception, and you know this is a difficult topic for a lot of front-end developers. I know.
I know you're gonna start a war in the chat. No, I personally just never switched. Like, I started using npm when I first started learning about development, and when people were like, "Yeah, Yarn's cool," and I was like, "It can keep being cool, npm, all the things." So I'm kind of stuck in my old ways.
Okay, so let me give you a quick tour on this code. Like, okay, so you see, and probably this is easier for people who come from VB6, and that's what we expect. So you will see that here you have like all these FRM files, which were your from code, and we upgrade this all the way to .NET C# applications, and well, because we do a double jump. So in the first jump, we take it to WinForms,
right.
And WinForms has this coding style where it puts like separates the like visual definitions in the .designer file and the rest of the code in the .cs file. And when we modernize that, we'll obviously get rid of this designer, which is not available on the other platforms. But we just keep all the code, and you will see that the code resembles a lot of the original code. So let's I don't know, let's try to jump into this VB6 code, and
so all of those components that say FRM, is that a convention from this app specifically, or is that like a WinForms convention to like start with FRM?
Yeah. Well, it was mostly like a VB6 convention, and we tried to keep the naming and everything when we migrate, because well, the idea is that the original programmers can keep working with this application, or at least somebody that was familiar with the original code, and so we can rename everything, but then you will be like, oh, where's my code? Where's everything I had? And so it was better for us to just rename that. And once you are in the new platform, like if you want to do a renaming, it's super easy to do. Like all the platform has support to do.
I just was curious where that naming convention came from. So cool.
Yes, well, it comes again from those not so distant times where the IDs were not so good. So you were used to use prefixes on all your variables, like you were like all buttons were BTN, all labels were LBL, and all forms were FRM. And
Okay.
well, you used to do that because it was not so easy to hover over an element and get its type. Now it's, well, it doesn't make a lot of sense because you can name whatever you want and you just hover on anything, you know what it is. But it was very helpful at those times.
Okay.
And that's why we keep that.
Everyone in the
And
chat is making fun of NPM and how long it takes.
I don't know. We should make a survey to see what's. It will really depend on the audience.
I know. I am curious, like how many people are NPM versus Yarn. There is a link in the chat, BT Dubs, for a survey to win prizes. Prizes. Let me tell you, the prizes are always legit when Progress and Mobilize are involved. So fill out the survey. Okay. That's my spiel.
Okay, so you asked me to create a form, a new form. Well, maybe I can.
Yeah,
is
it anything? Really, anything that we can slap something into? Whatever you're feeling spicy with.
Let me. I mentioned that I had an extension that I like to use, which is this one. Let me see if I have it installed. Yes, I have. And this is just like a code snippet that my friend Manuel helped me to create. And let me just.
No, whenever you told me, because we were like debugging and like working the other day, and he was like, "Oh yeah, just go and install this extension." And I was like, "Cool." And I like went and I like looked and I was like, "Wait, is that by him? Is he that cool?" So I was a little intimidated at that point when you're like, "Hey, install my extension on VS Code." Well, you know, like you've reached this level of cool whenever you've done that, right? Like that's, yeah.
Well, it was not my idea. Manuel was a friend of this. He was the one that gave me the idea of having an extension. It has been very useful.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that credit goes to him about having this. And so as you can see, I can just like use this to add my my using statements, and then I have to let me just. I think it's better if I do it this way. Like first I add the class, and anything that you have to show everybody, like the document window, which will just give you this snippet, and then everything is inside the SKS namespace. And I was waiting for, I did something.
I'm making your code bigger so I can read it. Everyone like is like probably seeing me move it around, so don't worry. It's just me making his code bigger.
I will make it bigger. Second window 1. I will open this, and that's it. And okay, I will make this code bigger. Is it better this way?
Yes. I can see all the things.
Okay, so let's see what we have here that's important. Look at this observable attribute. So we add that to make it easier. Like in general, what we have is we have an Angular service that is inserted in our components, which is just responsible of keeping them in sync. So whenever you have something in your backend, it is synced with what you have on your application in the front end. And it's done automatically for you. So you don't have to be calling any API. You can call APIs, which I think you can do. I think I will add an example for that. But in general, it will be taken care of for you. And it is mostly, I will change this to, instead of fixed style, it will change. Let me see if it's border style. I'm sorry. I will restore my Linux first. .NET restore, because that will help my instance. And I will leave this code like it is
Did you just say that .NET Restart is a thing? Because I know about .NET Build and .NET Run. That's all I know.
Oh, okay. The .NET Restart is like the npm install, and so it's just looking for the references and installing them. Okay. But usually, I think when we did some tryouts, we just did a .NET Run because it automatically runs the restore, the build, and starts the application. But right now, I'm just doing that, so I will get some intelligence. So this is just what you have to do to create a new form, and this comes from a platform where people was used to open like windows from the front end. Like you press a button and the button can perform some logic and then do something like show window, and then the window should be shown in your platform, which is not like probably what you will do in Golang or applications. Probably in Angular you will use some route like that, but we do this way in order to ease the transition for people that is coming from VB6, and then later on you can move to do something different. Okay, so we have a form. What else we have? Maybe I'll create a controller so we can try it out calling that controller from the code. So let me add, I will add like a products controller.
Because I would love to end the stream by displaying the products in this delicious salmon app in the Kendo Ui grid. Because it'd be nice to have one spot that all the products are listed. So you're basically, a controller is a way to get data from the back end to my templates in the front end. Yes.
That's correct. And so my controller is the way you implement web APIs in the .NET Core world. So I will just assemble one for you.
Yay! I'm so excited. Show us your controller magic.
That is the controller, and let me see. So here you can add your code, and let me see. I think that if I remember, this application had something called mod connection, and I can from this mod connection just execute something. I think they had like codes table, so maybe I can do something like this from Robert.
Oh my gosh! Look at you!
And let me see.
I'm so excited.
I will do something like I will update my packages to make sure that we have like all the latest version that we need. So let me just, for my Angular version, update my packages so everything is with the latest versions that we need in place. So I think that is going to do it. Okay, and I was in the middle of finishing my controller. So let me just I think I have
you
this
like
code.
Legit program like I do, where you're like, let me update this one thing, and then you're like, wait, I was in the middle of something. I love it. This is like so legitimately how my brain works. So you made this, is that nod connection or mod connection? I can't tell.
Mod connection. That's some of the original application code, and so I just using it to show that once you migrate, you can use your code from there. So they have some code here to connect to the database and perform queries. So I'm just using that, and the rest of this is just like standard .NET code. So you can see that in .NET you have like this data set component, and then the component has data tables, and you have the rows and all that. So I'm here and just like iterating through all the rows. Like I perform a query, and after I perform this query, this query will be stored into the RS variable.
Where did this code come from? The for each. Did you just write it? I did not see you write that.
I had it pre-prepared.
Okay, I was like, dude, that was so wicked fast.
No, I'm not that fast.
Okay, so you're looping through it, each of the data chunks, and then
yes, and then this is probably a more complex syntax, but it's just like it will create a dictionary out of so like for each row, it will just create a dictionary that has like the key, which is the name and the value. And that is because we just want each dictionary will be just like a JSON object. So we are just creating an array of JSON objects. So for each row, it will create this dictionary, just return it. And because this is in enumerable, that will be returned as a JSON array. Okay. And I think that we are done. Let me see. Let's cross fingers and see if everything compiles. .NET run. And let's see if my backend runs. If it runs, then I can switch it over to you.
I'm not scared. You're scared. Like anytime I see like yesterday I was having so many issues with NPM packages, so I'm like watching all these NPM warnings, like breathe.
Well, let's hope that everything works.
So you've created the products controller, so I should be able to get a chunk of products to display. And then you also created window 1, which is like a pop-up modal thing, maybe?
Yes. And yes, the window 1 is your model, the model for your Angular component. Okay. So you have to create an Angular component, and the controller is just something that you can call to populate like collections of data or something like that. But I'm missing something, as I mentioned. In a modernized application, you still you have to show the windows and explicitly from your code. So I think that to make it easy, we can go to the about. Oh, I'm missing something here. Oh. Well, it's not an example unless it doesn't compile. So it's let me see what I'm missing. Oh, I'm missing the usings. So that means usings, and it should be all the usings that I need. Okay. And so I can make the thing that was missing is that we need to open the window from the backend. And so in order to do that, I will go to the about window. And the way things work in Visual Basic is that you have, remember what I just mentioned, that the components have these conventions. Like you can see this like LBL version, LBL disclaimer, which are labels, and you have a CMD OK, which is the button. And for each, when you have an event, then you have an event handler, and that event handler will be called, like, it will have the same button name, underscore, and the name of the event. So if the event was click, then you will find a method that is called CMD OK underscore click. That's what you had in this case. So you will have something like here, like so it should be here. Okay, so we have here the OK button, and we can use displays to open our new window. So we will just do new window 1 and the show, and that should make sure that that window opens one day. Okay, and so let me see. If,
okay, so this is like inside of about, you said, on OK.
Yeah.
This will show. Okay.
Yes. Okay, let me see if it's everything's compiling. And if everything is compiling, then at this point the front end will run. I can just run the backend in the front end, but probably you cannot show the window 1 until you create a new window 1 Angular component, which I think is what you can do once I commit all these changes. So let me just verify that it compiles. Please compile. See? It always takes longer when you're showing.
That is true.
So I will. Yes. And I think it's one of my superpowers, along with the one that each line I choose in the supermarket will always be the one that takes more time. It doesn't matter if you can be like, there can be a line with 5 persons, and it can be like in a line with just like a nice old lady, and then that nice old lady will take her purse and start paying with pennies. She will decide to do that exactly at that point, and then she will decide that she wants to pay her phone bill, and then she wants to ask about the promotions, and she will do everything. And you will see the people on the other line just passing by, and don't worry about those warnings. Those are just custom warnings. We just leave them.
Oh no!
So
Why is it
you
bad about window 1?
oh,
It.
I don't know, but it's
Oh.
okay.
You're like, ignore that. Keep going.
Yes, yes, yes. If it's yellow, don't worry. If it's red, then you should
Oh,
be
I
worried.
saw a chunk of red, but it might not matter. It was in the middle of the yellow. So maybe if it's like surrounded by yellow.
If it's more yellow than red, then that's I think it's great. So I'm just waiting for it to show that it's running. So let me see. No, it didn't show that red that you were saying. Okay, so it's up. So it means that my backing is working.
Yeah, it is
And
running.
I will just check that with the other with the Angular code. SKS web map and SKS. By default, we just follow like if the object is SKS, we will have SKS Angular, and then you have all the code there. And I have to do a new imp install because I updated my package JSON. Oh, I should delete my package log JSON. Do an imp. And I he's switching between Windows and Mac. It's always confusing. And npm install, and then we will get like all the reference installed. And when this finishes,
So while that's installing, the next steps are to create the window 1 component, and did you already install Kendo Ui grid, or do I need to install that?
That's why I was doing the installing, because I changed our package JSON, and I think that let me see. So you can see that the Kendo Angular grid is already here, along as with some other Kendo goodies. But
cool.
I just use.
Yeah, usually with like Angular projects, I'll use the ng add command and just add in the components that I need, like whether it's the grid or inputs or whatever from Kendo UI. But we're going to skip that step. Mauricio's been kind enough to make sure we already have it installed in this project. So.
Yeah. So I cross my fingers and think that everything compiles, and I will just push all the
what
things.
I'm worried about is once I pull it down and then it blows up.
Don't worry.
Prepare for explosions.
Okay, and so let me come in and okay, I will changes for Alyssa. Okay, and
I'm actually going to go to GitHub right now and look for the project. Looking for the project. I believe I have found it. And I see changes for Alyssa. But it's not ready to pull down, or it is ready to pull down?
it is ready. Now I confirm that I was able to push. Remember that yesterday I thought that I had been able to push until I found that there was like some problems. Now I should be able to get.
Okay, so I'm not nervous. You're nervous. I'm gonna swap over to
hydrate.
Oh wait,
remember you need your
what?
You have to hydrate your coffee.
Yes, I'm on to delicious water now. Okay, let's go over on Skype, darling. Can you stop sharing your screen? I'm chugging a little bit, so let's take off any. Let's just take off any resources that are hoggy.
Okay, let me see. Okay, so my camera is off. Is that okay?
Oh no, your camera can stay on. Sorry, I just meant your desktop. If you could stop sharing the desktop, it might help my computer catch up a little bit.
Let me see.
And then I'm actually going.
Stop sharing. Okay.
to clone down, which I learned yesterday. I have to use SSH because if you swap over to HTTPS, I'm like apparently not set up for that. Okay, so going to development, and I am going to go into Mobilize stream, and then I am just going to git clone your project.
Okay.
And we are gonna see if it's happy. Okay. So now I'm going to go File, Open, and we want to go to Development and Progress, which I often misspell as Progress. This one's called this? Yes. Web map? This one. This one? I don't know. Git clone, GitHub. Yes, I think this is the one. I do believe. Okay, so now I'm actually going to cd into it, and I have to do two things. I have to get it built on the back end and npm install on the front end. So let's see. I need to be in different spots for each one. Is this an okay spot for me to be for npm installing, or I'm looking. I think I actually need to go into the Angular portion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then while npm install is running, I'm going to go back over here, and this is, do I need to go into a certain spot, or is this an okay place to run .NET build? I always question this. I'm like, am I in the right?
If you're at the bit of the repository, that will be okay.
Okay. So how do you, like, for me, whenever I'm like downloading a new project and I'm like, oh, where, like, I always look for like the portion of the project that has like the package JSONs, and I'm like, okay, I can npm install here at this point in the project. Is there the same kind of logic with running .NET build? Like, you're looking for a certain file and then you can run it at the...
Yes, you should look for either oh, I'm sorry, I got something weird with your audio.
Oh, I don't think I'm actually sharing.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't think I'm actually sharing my terminal window. That's strange. 1 second, darlings. Let's see. Terminal. Done. There. I thought you were seeing this all along. I have no idea why you weren't. Apologies, everyone. That's really strange. Yes. Okay. So I have npm running on this window. I thought you were all seeing this. I feel really silly now. And now on this one, I'm going to run .NET build. Yes. No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. What did I do wrong? Am I in the wrong spot?
No, you're fine. You can run .NET build. No, but you're typing do net. It always happens to me.
Oh my word. Let's
John is saying that you can write donut build.
I is embarrassed. Okay, so .NET build is running. npm install is running, I believe. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it running. So now I'm going to go over to make sure you're seeing what I'm seeing before I talk like a crazy person. Yeah, let's move. 1 second. I'm going to move this smaller, make that bigger, and move my terminal over so that you all can see. So this is the project, I believe, that you just passed over to me? Question mark. I think so.
Yes, that's the project I just said.
And in this components folder.
Let me see, because I don't. Do you have window 1 and the other stuff?
Where would it be? It would be on the.
It should be like at the same level where all the other CS files.
I'm looking
just
for
at the top of the folder.
at the top of the folder. Hold on. I'm not good at this. Am I in the wrong project?
Yes, I think you're in the right.
Oh, I love you all. Hang on 1 second. File, open recent, open that one. And this is why you don't. This is a naming thing on my part because I did not put it in a place. So progress and then mobilize. So I think it's SKS. Let's open this one. Maybe. Possibly.
Okay. Let's hope so.
Woo, she's chugging, you guys. She is chugging. Okay, so I'm not seeing window 1 on this one either. Question mark. Hang on, let me actually go over to GitHub and look. Oh yeah, it's right there.
Okay.
It's like right there. Okay.
Okay, you found it. I don't see it, but if you find it, I'm confident.
I didn't. I'm actually pulling up Finder so that I can like quickly go through each of these projects because I'm hella confused as to what the name is. So let's see. Mobilize stream, SKS, and then you named it. Yeah, you named it window 1. What on?
Yes. Did you clone my? Yes, it seems like you cloned my folder.
I'm so lost right now. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Because again, I have no idea what I did wrong. Like I'm on your thing. I cloned this SKS web map. What did I do wrong? Let's go. Here's what we're gonna do.
Let me see if everything's up. Let me see, like
well, when I'm on
status.
Whenever I'm over here on GitHub, I see window1.cs. Like, so
okay.
File, open recent. This one. So like I see the file on GitHub. I need like elevator music for. Okay, looking for window 1. Oh, there it is. It's at the very bottom. Okay, I think I was in the right project.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
I don't know. It was like because on GitHub, it's at the very top of the CS files.
Oh.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sure, I'll install the C# extension. I'm all about that life. That sounds great. Okay, so I think what I was running npm install on was in fact SKS web map, which is what we have open. So we're okay. So now I'm going to go back into SKS Angular. I'm actually going to double check that you can see my terminal. There we go, putting it in the middle. And I npm installed, so now I should be able to run npm start, methinks, in me brain. What on God's green earth is happening? What is this? Do you know what this is at the bottom of my VS Code? Is this like the extension I just installed? Or is that just the console? No, it's just the I'm like not used to looking at that.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
No, it's fine. I'm not hyperventilating. You're hyperventilating. Okay, so we are running npm start, and I'm going to go back over to .NET build. It says 0 errors. So I'm thinking if I say .NET run and not .NET run, question mark, we should see.
No, just .NET run. You don't need to see that.
Okay, so these two buds are going. I'm going to go back over here while that's running and check out our components folder, which is inside of app and then components. And then I actually copied this over because we are way late on time. So I'm going to paste. Oh, it's gone now. Pip, pip. All right, 1 second, darlings. I'm grabbing the... Wow, .NET run is taken. And again, my machine's like running Skype and OBS, so it's gonna like be slower than it usually is, but
yeah, something is happening because my machine is slow, but You're winning this one.
I'm winning this one for slowness. Yeah, that is true. But while we're waiting, I'm going over to this other project that I was practicing on, and I made I made the window one component, and then hopefully we can get something showing for the glorious viewers before we do prizes. Which, by the way, there's a link in the chat. Let's see. I'm actually going to go and disable this because I don't need anything extra running right now while we are chug-a-lugging. Wondering if it takes much longer, if I should attempt to restart it, because this is here.
It's about to get started.
Wow, this is incredible. It's attempting to cancel the build, not actually canceling the build. Sad day. Okay, that's going to keep doing its thing. I'm going back over to the codes, and I'm going to go to components and paste in my window one component. Now, the problem here that I foresee is the names not matching up. So can you help me ensure that I have named everything correctly everywhere? So here's the component.
And I think just remove the no, I think everything's okay. Let me see. Window one. Did you add the component to the index and to the model?
No. Okay, so we've got to add it to. Whew, you guys, this is chugga luggin. Okay, making this smaller. So I need to export it. Yes.
Yes, you need to export it.
So I'm duplicating this, and I'm gonna say export. What is it? It's just like this, or I'm always.
Yes. Can you share your all your code environment in the Twitch stream? I think it's kind of
Can I share? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Terminal's covering it. Let's make this bigger. Okay, grab our code. I'm actually gonna grab VS Code and move her over and put her in front of everything else, so that we can see everything in its glory. Okay, so I'm exporting. Is it window one like this from?
Yes, from window one /window one /window one.component.
Window, yes. /window.
/window one /window one.component.
What did I do wrong? Why is it unhappy? Oh, did I not name it that in the?
I think it's called window one component.
Window one class. Can I change that? Can we name it this?
Yes.
Or something? I don't know. What should it say? Window one component, or should it say just window one?
Well, the usual is window one component, so it's better.
All right. And you said we need to add. What were the two things we need to add to our index? And
first export it in this index, and then you can go to the SKS model and make sure that I think that's the SKS model is under app.model.ts in your
yes,
on your left.
Found SKS model, and now we basically need to put in exports, declarations, and entry components. I think
that's correct.
Okay.
And by the way, you need to import the grid model in this point.
Oh, okay. Whoops. Window one component. And then I'm going to copy that and plop it here. I want it at the very end. Thank you. Okay. And then entry components. Okay, so you're saying we need to do the same thing. Do we need to do it in all three places for the grid, or just the
Not
exports?
just in the import of the model. You can just go
Okay.
to the top of the file, and where you have
Oh, I
like
see what you're
the
saying. Yes, yes.
yes, underneath the Webmin module. Yes, just under that you can import the grid model component. So just import it.
Okay. I'm trying to think of what it's. Grid. No, let's look.
I think it's grid model, but you just write it down in Google.
Grid.
No, without the Kendo, I think it's just grid with a capital G and model with a capital.
Grid
Oh,
model.
okay, and then you have to use the import, but I think the IntelliSense will help you.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
you can
I
use the lab.
actually think our
Okay,
backend is running right now. I think that's what
okay.
happened.
Oh, really?
I think so. I think while we were doing that, I'm going to move it up to the top. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, but yeah, I think we're actually running. Okay, so I'm like so impressed that my machine
it's
like
running.
ran it. Okay, so the back end is running. It
And
says the front end is running, maybe.
okay,
Potentially.
let's go to the front end and
Let's
see
do
what's
it.
happening.
I'm going to move my browser window up a little bit, and let's pull up localhost, shall we? Are you scared? I'm scared.
Let's see if everything runs.
I'm attempting to open the console, but if this gives you any indication of what my computer's doing, the console is still not open. So this is the loading screen, right? Okay.
So we have the splash, and then
put this on the
splash.
bottom. So I have the console. Oh my word! Oh my word! We see things. Things are really working. I'm so excited. So if
now you can jump to the help about, and let's see if we can open our window.
So everything's working, creating an order. Okay, so now you're saying we go to help about, and we say okay, and we should see when we click okay.
Yes,
I knew it. I knew I messed something up. I'm not seeing any errors on.
Okay, something happened. Let's see if it's some errors.
Let's see. About. Press OK again. Okay, I'm not seeing it. What I'm worried about is that. Walk me through it. We did. I created the Windows component, which looks like this. Window 1 component. I actually want to make sure that Window 1 class is not used anywhere else. I don't think it is. No, it's not. So we created Window 1 component, and we linked it into index.ts. Do you think I need to restart
the backend, maybe?
You think the back end or the front end? Because I was like, do I need to restart the front end?
I think the front end is fine.
Would the maybe you think the back end needs to be restarted?
Oh, yes, maybe. Can we look at the back end and make sure that, because you had like several versions of the back end, so I'm wondering if you run that one that didn't have the window one.
Everybody check it out. Okay. This is I'm getting these like fail observable wrapper, but are those important, or do we not care about those?
No, those are fine.
Okay, so do you want me to restart the .NET?
Can you open the Visual Studio Code with the backend
Visual Studio Code backend is what you wanted. I gotcha. Sorry, when you said the backend, I thought you wanted to see the terminal. Okay. Yes, I can open Visual Studio Code to see the backend. So I'm going to close the front end. And now you want to see, what am I looking for? Just the window?
Yes, let's go to the first studio about to make sure that we have the code that opens the window one.
Oh, about, right. I'm going to open about. This one, the just from about.cs, not the designer one.
Yes, the FRM about.cs. Let's see if we, okay. So go back to the CMV underscore click.
Okay. CMV underscore click. I don't know where that is, so I'm gonna type it in. Underscore click. Oh, you're talking about finding the method?
Yes.
Is it click or on click?
It's CMD. It's actually CB. I don't know. Can we just look for underscore click?
Click. Yeah, there it is. CMD OK click.
Yes, that's the one.
Is this where we should have the open, or is that in a different file?
Oh, yes, we should have the open there. It's not there.
I don't understand. You pushed that up, right?
Well, you can blame it on me. I don't know where it is.
I don't know where it is. Okay, so how do we tell me the .nets so that I can make it open?
So just do something like new space window 1, and then the parentheses and .show.
Like that? Why are you angry at me?
Oh.
Do I care that it's angry?
And
parentheses? Yeah? Is that why it's angry?
Yes, you're missing the parentheses and after the class name.
It's still mad, but do we care that it's mad? Or is this like one of those things that we don't care? Window 1 dot window 1?
Yes.
Seriously? Yes, you want me to do this?
Yes.
What?
Don't worry about those warnings. I think it's just confusing.
So I don't have to do window 1 dot window 1, or I do?
No. You had it all right. So just leave it as it was.
All right. So I'm gonna go. So when you save something like this, do you have to restart the backend, or does it like automatically?
Yes. No, you have to restart the backend.
You know who's used to Webpack? Alyssa. Alyssa's used to Webpack. And like having everything recompile itself on change, like that's my jam.
You're right.
Oh, yep. And Andrea said first line in C#. And I remembered to capitalize show because, JavaScript, you would never do such a thing with a method. Okay, so I'm rerunning. I'm going to put the terminal at the top so everyone can see. Rerunning .NET Run and putting the browser at a higher spot so that once it's ready, we can see the glory and the majesty. Okay, actually, while this is running, let's talk about Kendo Ui, because what would be super sweet is if we could get it working while we're waiting on this to run. So basically, in this component that I grabbed from another project because I was playing around with it, I plopped in our Kendo Ui grid. I commented it out. But essentially, once we can actually see window 1, this is just a grid from our docs. Check it out today. But I also created like products.ts, which grabs in a bunch of fake data. But essentially what we want to do is replace that with the data that your controller is providing. So if I copy this grid over, comment it back out, because it's our fake grid that we're going to play around with in a minute. What do I put here for, like, how do I get that data from the backend? I'm assuming I need to access it inside of my TypeScript file somehow and then make it a variable that my template can access?
Yes, and I think I can, if you have the snippets, I think you can use them right now.
If I have the what bits? Sorry.
If you have the snippets extension, then I think you have a WM API, which
yes.
Probably you can add an ng on init method and from there initialize the grid data. Okay. So we can try that out.
So sorry, what am I typing into?
So first, let's add an ng on init to call our service from there.
Angie on a
But just
I want to do this inside of my class. And
yes.
ng on a knit. Oh, this is going to be painful to me. Let's see. I want to do extends, and then it has to say implements, I think. Ah.
No, it's you just need to add the method and it will be called. Okay. And now you can write WM API. You actually do not need to add the implements. Angular will just find the method if you have it.
Shut up. I didn't know that. I thought you had to have it.
No. And okay, so now just change the controller name for product. And because I think in our controller is called product controller with product, and in your code you just I think you can use something like that. The commented code just maybe uncomment the line 21 where you're assigning the data with the data from the backend. And I think that will be all.
Is it worrisome that it's underlining WM service, or you think that's fine?
Yes. Okay. That's correct. I don't know why sometimes the IntelliSense commands. Let me see if there's a typo, because sometimes I miss some things. Oh, yes. We have a problem. Like, yes, you in the constructor, change the, it should be private and it's not private. Like, you see that the constructor has the WM service in line 25?
Yes.
So just add the...
So I made it private, and I think it's happy with us now.
Yes, so you were right.
We have
that was the Easter egg. Oh, you found it. Because I have forgotten about the Easter egg. So you can now say that I made my part.
Okay, I have a question for you. Yes. It might be a scary question. Any idea what's happening to our project? I'm pulling up the browser.
Okay.
There we go. So we've got an error on...
What does it say? I cannot see like all the text.
So it's saying there's an error in our component on line 13. Let me go pull up line 13.
That's a semicolon.
Yes. Dang it. That's on me, guys. That's on me. Okay, so it's rerunning. Okay, so the other part is I don't actually know what our product looks like. So do you know what, I guess we could console log it, but do you know what fields we have like on the product? Is it like product.name or something?
I don't remember. I think we can.
I know, right? I don't remember either. Let's see. Let's first of all check and see if our...
Let's first see if it gets there.
Okay. What is happening? Why is this happening? Okay, well, first of all, window 1 has appeared.
Okay.
But
that's not the data that we want, but it's there. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, that's the fake data. I think it's because I haven't saved my HTML yet.
Oh.
So I want to basically see what our data looks like. So I'm going to... let's go ahead and get rid of that line, and I'm going to comment out the grid, and we're just going to say at this point it's working, and then we should see that change, and then we're going to go over here and say console.log, and I want to say data. Because I want to see what the properties are so that we can plug them into our grid, which is now appearing on screen. I'm so excited. I can't believe we did it. I was so scared. Like, I'm pretty like medium comfort with, all things Angular, but then once you throw in all of the scary .NET-ness, I'm like, it's okay. We're going to make it happen. Yay. So, okay, it's working is there. And let's see if we actually get, which I probably could just pull up the network tab.
Okay, and I think that I was wondering about that. I think you have to use a capital P instead of a lowercase.
For data?
So can you change? No, in the name of the URL, you would have API / and I think that it's a capital P for product in the URL. Can we?
Sense now. Okay, so we're going to refresh and see capital P for our product. Hopefully.
Okay, let's see if that works. And if it's not working, then let me see if it's not my fault. I hope it's not.
Surely not. I am quite positive it's on my end of life.
Okay.
Okay, so we're still getting API / product, internal server error. So ideas on what I should change.
Let me see.
Subscribe.
API product. And let me see if for any reason is this file already published in your repository?
Because yeah, what's the file called again?
Product controller.
Product controller. Is it going to be inside of something?
No, it should be like at the same level as all of this.
Escape. Let's see, product controller. Actually, I'm going to go look at GitHub real quick because... So you're saying it should just be right at the same level?
Yes. That's right. And I thought I had pushed it because you had some problems with that, or maybe
I'll refresh on GitHub. I'm not seeing it on the GitHubs, but maybe I'm missing it.
Let me see. And
is it here?
And that's no, it's not there. So I don't know why.
Okay, maybe try pushing.
So these two things were my fault. So I'm so sorry about it.
No worries. Yeah, JD Brown is asking, is the table called product or products? But also we're missing a file, so that's... But I'm actually really, really impressed with, A, the app is converted over now from VB6 to a .NET Angular app. And B, we are getting this new window 1 happening on click whenever we click our about and then we say okay, and that's pulling up. And then I have, of course, our demo grid from Kendo Ui. I have to save that once I put it back in. And I should wait on the refresh. And we can see it is fake data, but I know if we had that exact products controller, that we would be seeing the real data. Right now, I mean, I'm like temporarily okay with seeing our fake products, just as long as we actually have the Kendo Ui grid. And voila, you have the grid. It's plugging in the product data. And I actually want to... I think it's looking how it should look. I don't know. I'm really impressed with how far we've gotten, and I feel like we're already 30 minutes over. So I think at this point we maybe should do, because I know once you could push up the product controller and we could plug in the real data.
Yes.
But honestly, at this point, like the app is ready to go. It's ready to start plugging in more Kendo Ui components. It's ready to continue writing controllers and other components on the back end and making sure they're plugged in for the template. So I'm really happy with this. And I think we're ready to go ahead and do a drawing for prizes. So Sarah and Dee Dee, if you guys are ready, I think we can make prizes a thing for everybody in the stream. And I'm sorry for going 30 minutes over. I love you all. Pick a number between 1 and 39, Mauricio.
1 and 39. 21.
21. So we're going to give Sarah a moment to go and find whoever lucky number 21 is. Drum rolling for Sarah. Who is the number 21? Who is it? The suspense, Sarah. The suspense. Oh my gosh, it's Corbob! Shut the front door. Dee Dee says it's rigged. Of course it is. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this today. Check out, so can you tell everyone how to find you on the, either whether you prefer Twitter or some other thing, Mauricio, for if they want to hit you up?
I don't know. You can. My Twitter is the same as my GitHub.
Which I will pull
probably
up.
more in my GitHub than my Twitter.
Okay, cool. So here's his GitHub. And I'm at Alyssa Nicoll on the Twitters, and send any Kendo questions my way, Mobilize questions his way. But seriously, thank you everyone for being a part of our stream today. We appreciate you all so much. Okay. And I hope that your weekend is just marvelous. You have any closing words for everybody, Mauricio?
I pushed the product controller.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Awesome. Yeah, and this is, again, the GitHub is right there. So if you want to play around with it and add your own front end magic, pull it down. It's on the GitHubs now, and the product controller is ready for you. So awesome. Thank you everyone so much. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you online.